Well, hello again and welcome back to the Blockheadz server. It's episode 78, and today I started off the episode with the intention of solving a problem. You see, I'm a very lazy person, and underneath me I have quite a large shulker box monster. I do not like this situation one little tiny bit. So, what I wanted to do was create sort of a base of operations from which to continue to build our lovely forest. However, I have no such base on the surface, so what I thought that I would do is go ahead and create a minecart rail that takes us to the bottom of this particular house right here. And I'm going to build a basement in this house that will allow us to have a base of operations, and also to have a place to have the minecart dock or station or whatever come in so that we can place things there. So, first order of business, I need to fix up some of these walls from that creeper that blew up a couple episodes ago, and also we need to go ahead and dig out the basement. I rebuilt the wall and the stairs and the floor. Then I started to dig down to start the basement. I then began to excavate the area for the basement. I then proceeded to make a floor of cobbled deep slate. While I was looking for some more cobbled deep slate, a trader came by and I decided to get a few more mini blocks. I got a couple mini blocks before the trader disappeared. I got lit redstone lamps and gold ore. I went back to building the floor. I decided that the most fun way to access the basement would not be through using stairs, which I'm going to delete, but rather through a redstone door hidden in this tree. So, what I decided to do was put a little ladder coming up here, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in a sticky piston, which is right behind there, and then by putting this redstone torch underneath the sticky piston, it should allow that door to close. Now all we have to do is figure out a way to get the thing to open. A block underneath the piston, and then putting the torch underneath that block. That seemed to improve things, because now we could put a button next to the torch. The real question was, where could we put the button on the tree so that it was somewhat hidden and also would actually work? Perhaps here? Now all I needed was a block with redstone on it, another block with some redstone on it, and this is why I hate redstone, because it's the worst. When the solution came to me, I realized what an incredible derp I had been. A simple redstone piece of dust right there, a simple block here with the torch there powering the piston. Very simple, and then on the way up, all we have to do is press that block and the door will open. I then moved my temporary base of operations into the basement and covered up the stairs. I then returned to the main level and put a few more buttons on the tree to disguise the real button. I then decorated my new area with some cobbled deep slate. I then decided that I wanted to use some quartz variants for the walls, but I was completely out of quartz, so I had to go find some. Fortunately, there was plenty at the new Piglin Trading Hall, which is also quite loud. So all in total, I was able to get almost 12 full shulker boxes of quartz blocks out of that farm. That's pretty insane. Glow squid. With my newfound quartz, I was able to complete the walls. With the walls finished, I decided to add in some cobbled deep slate pillars. I like these archways so much that I decided to go ahead and build archways on the walls as well. I then decorated the floor with a little bit of deep slate ore that I had, and also hung a few lanterns for some better lighting. Using FreeCam, I scouted out the best place to put in a minecart station, and I found out that this wall was actually the best spot, so I went ahead and tore it out. I dug the wall out to make room for the minecart station, and also made use of this existing cave. I dug out a route that connects us to the minecart route that I had before. It goes from here, down here, around here, over here, up this little tube, up there, round this way, and into there. I dug out a little area to make a pond, and then also I put some moss on the bottom of where the rails are going to go. Then I went ahead and started placing in the rail. After a great deal of overthinking, I decided, okay, fine, I will go ahead and place in dark oak planks along the wall. That way it'll stay consistent with my other rail builds. After putting in all the dark oak wood, I finally had a reliable way to get back and forth between my base and the house. Let's give it a test. It is quite dark. So you get here, There we go. So I decided the next build I was going to do was the stables, and I think I'm going to put it right there. I began by digging out the necessary blocks for the foundation. I then began to lay the foundation. Next, I worked on placing a layout and started building on the walls. After completing that, I thought it would be a good time to put in some horse stalls. The idea is that I can tie the horses to the fence posts, and then that way we don't need the gates, so we can have a little bit more open looking stall, and it's a little bit easier to grab the horse, grab the lead, and get back out of the stable to actually ride the horse. So my favorite thing about this so far has been these sort of circular doors for the stables. I really like the way that that looks. I think that's going to be really good once we get this roof on. And speaking of the roof, it's time to put the roof on. Yep, it's as boring as it seems. I went ahead and outlined the entire roof with copper. Except I ran out of copper for the roof line, the ridge line, and this side right here. I need to get more copper. The copper farm that we have on the server is really fiddly to use for me. I always lose the sword. I'm going to have to mine for it, I guess. Next, I decided to cover the entire thing in glow lichen. Well, okay, not the whole thing, but like a lot of it, because glow lichen is awesome when you put it over quartz. Getting the glow lichen into the upper parts of the build was a little bit more difficult, but I figured out a way, because I'm super smart. My tiny brain cell has been expunged. My tiny brain cell has been expunged. Expunged? I don't think that's a word. Isn't expunged a legal term? Doesn't it mean like made it go away or something? I mean, wouldn't expunged mean like you used to have a sponge and then now you don't have a sponge? Or maybe it's like you were dating a sponge and then the sponge left you, so now you're expunged. But I mean, who dates a sponge? I also finished off the ends with some nice windows. I then decided that the roof looked a little bit plain, so I decided to put in some dormers. I marked out where I wanted the dormers to go and started building. I find that building dormers is much easier after the roof is complete. I don't really know why. Just then, Etzmine needed some tuff, so I went to my base to go give it to him. And we're back to building. Oh, crash! Wow, I didn't even lose a heart out after that? I should have definitely lost at least one heart. Okay, I made all of the dormers. They look a little derp right now. You know why? Because there's no copper on them. I need to finish them with the copper, because they look derp. But do I have any copper? No. Why would I have copper? That's ridiculous. Apparently, copper is really hard to get. So why did I choose to use it as a main ingredient in my elven buildings? Because I am obviously a genius. That's why. So I mined copper for what felt like several lifetimes, I think. Yeah, several lifetimes. And I got about a stack of cut copper, which is nice. So yeah, what's cool is I already had a bunch of cut copper stairs that I kind of forgot about. Yeah, I forgot about. So that was really nice that I had those, but I still needed the other cut copper. So now we can hopefully finish the exterior of this build completely with all the copper that we have. I really hope I have enough. Okay, well, I was almost able to complete it. Whoa, I was juggling there. Check it out. Ooh, juggling. I was almost able to complete it, but I was completely out of copper at this point right here. So we got so close. Unfortunately, we cannot finish the backside, but this side is done and it looks really good. After finishing the exterior, I decided to do a little bit of work on the interior. Let's take a look. So in here, what I did is I just did a little bit of the cobbled deep slate on the floor with a few path blocks, and then I turned those torches I had here into lanterns. So each horsey stall has a lantern now, which is super special and fancy. And then we have these lovely lanterns on this side. And then also I did some little loft areas up here for the hay or whatever you put up here. I've never actually been on like an actual farm in an actual barn, so I don't really know what these loft things are for. But I thought, yeah, we need those for hay and whatnot to feed the horses. I don't know why they keep the hay up there. It seems kind of heavy. Like I'd probably keep it down low so I could just drag it in. But whatever. That's apparently how it's done. So yeah, I think that this build is pretty much done except for the roof area. I wanted to put some azalea leaves on here and do that, but I'm probably not going to do that. Yeah. And the reason I'm not going to do that is because we just met as a server and we made a big decision. We decided that instead of keeping the world that we have right now and updating it to 1.18.1 and then trying to keep the chunks and trying to get the chunks to merge into the other chunks of the 1.18.1, which honestly is a little bit dirt because the terrain generation is radically different. In other words, yeah, I'm standing in the ocean in 1.18.1 actually right now. If I was in 1.18.1, I'd be standing in an actual ocean, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, so that reason, and then also there's some technical glitch stuff going on with chests. Because of those things, we're actually going to be creating a brand new world for 1.18.1. So what does that mean for the future of Blockheadz? Well, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. All it means is we're starting over, so we're not going to have these elven forests. I really would have loved to finish the elven forest and stuff, but to be quite honest with you, I was really excited about finishing this elven forest just so I could move to another location so I could experience some of the 1.18 biome stuff, which was kind of my plan all along to do that, and now it's just going to happen sooner. So really nothing different is going to be happening than I had actually planned, except for we're not going to get to finish this beautiful forest. But I did get to do enough so that I think we could see what the whole thing would have looked like, and that made me really happy. And then, yeah, you're following? Good. And then what else it means is that we're going to be restarting. We're going to be building some new farms and stuff. And I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. I kind of want to build in a cave again because I learned quite a few things about building in a cave this episode. And I kind of want to do that. But I'm probably going to do so in like a different biome. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm going to do. I really like the idea of the caves because the caves are so awesome in 1.18. Like even the naturally generated ones are like 10 times the size of the cave that I built. So I could potentially pick any cool cave somewhere and just build away and just go really crazy with building. Anyway, that's just kind of what's going on. And it came out of the blue. So I apologize for surprising you guys. But we will do one more episode where we're going to go ahead and do kind of a final tour. For now, this has been Hex. I hope you've had an amazing, awesome, beautiful day. I hope that you've enjoyed this stables. I know I really enjoyed building this one. This was a fun build to do. And I'm glad that I got it done because it was something that I wanted to do on the server. And I always wanted to put something in this area too, this little blank area. So kind of ending where we started, at least in this biome. But anyways, more importantly, I hope you're having an amazing, awesome, beautiful day. And God bless.